This week on Gadget, need a landline? Make one with the CallFinder Cellular Gateway from MultiTech. Welcome to Gadget at thetechstop.net, where it's always time to get your geek on. I'm your host, Father Robert Ballecer of the Society of Jesus, that's the California province of the Jesuits, a religious order of the Catholic Church, and we're here in the Center for Apostolic Technology in Honolulu, Hawaii, on the campus of the University of Hawaii. I want to start off today's show with a shout out to Chandler Ming. Chandler runs a website and puts out content, a bunch of reviews, actually releasing much more frequently than Gadget does. He's been a member of the Gadget fan base since the very early days, so I wanted to see if I could drive some traffic his way. If you've got a chance to check him out, go to mingvideos.com or check out his YouTube channel at ChandlerMing223233. Now we've got some Geek Weird this week. If you are one of the geek slackers, you're going to know this one well, and you may need to go to ThinkGeek at www.thinkgeek.com and check out this shirt and any of the other ones that you might be able to find. This could bring a smile onto your face when normally you get bummed out by your procrastination. The Gadget Byte of the week is this. This is the ATP Petito. Now, you may know ATP from episode 2 of Gadget, in which we reviewed the ATP ToughDrive. We actually took this drive and put it through the wash and the drying cycle several times to show you how indestructible it was. Not only did the drive survive, but it came out lemony fresh. Well, the Petito uses much of the same technology, but it crams it into a much smaller package. It loses the rubberized coating of the ToughDrive and instead opts for just a little hard plastic shell. That doesn't mean that it's a slacker, however. This is a 1 gigabyte drive. It is rated for 10,000 cycles, so that's read-write cycles, which is more than enough for most users. It transferred data in our test at about 29.5 megabytes per second, which is fantastic. It's on par with the ToughDrive. This is Windows Ready Boost Ready, which means that if you have a system with a compatible USB port, you can actually plug this in and get a boost from your applications. Now, what makes this special, and not just any other flash drive, isn't any of the technology in it, although it is pretty good. It's the fact that this is the special pink ribbon edition of the ATP Petito. You see, ATP has made an arrangement with the Susan G. Komen for the Cure Association for fighting breast cancer. 10% of all the retail sales of this drive will go towards that foundation. So, I mean, there's a special place in my heart for this, since it's curing something that affects so many people around the world. If you're looking for some flash storage, you can find the 1 gigabyte version online for about $25 and the 2 gigabyte version for about $40. If you need flash memory and you want to buy it now in a nice small, nearly indestructible package, check out the Petito. You might be feeding your Uber Geek crave and helping someone in need. Before we start up the main feature, I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. We are going to be doing something here that's really uber geeky. So if that's not your bag, shut off the video now because I don't want to piss anybody off. Okay? Well, if you're still here, that means you're interested in something that might just save you a lot of time and trouble for uber geek nirvana. This is the CallFinder from MultiTech. This is a cellular gateway which quite simply allows you to interface a POTS system, a plain old telephone service, with a cellular carrier. Now, in this particular case, this is a GSM box, which means it'll work with carriers like T-Mobile or AT&T Singular. But there also is a version that will work with CDMA networks like Sprint and Verizon. In any case, the idea is simple. Take a cellular chip or a cellular signal, convert it into POTS so that you can use it with devices that weren't originally designed to work with cellular systems. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would you want to do that? I mean, isn't it better to have it as cellular? Well, yes and no. You see, cellular is nice because it is so mobile, but there are still plenty of applications out there that require a POTS line. Anytime you're interfacing with an analog system, an analog PBS, something like an alarm setup, or if you need a backup line that can be spread among different phones, or in the case of our PBX, if you just want to have the ability to plug in a cellular service line so that you can save on your long distance charges, something like the CallFinder is called for. Now, if you look at the box itself, there's nothing really phenomenal about it. It's about the size of a hand plate, and it's just this ruggedized aluminum outer shell. It has very few LEDs in the front, no buttons to speak of, and in the back you've only got 2 ports for POTS lines, you've got a serial port, and you've got the power and SMA connector for the antenna. That's it. There's no real configuration, there's no real switches or buttons or knobs. This thing is designed to be installed and forgotten about. Now, it's quad-band GSM, which means it can support the 850, the 900, the 1800, and the 1900 megahertz range. It has both FXS and FXO interfaces. If you need to look that up, I'll give you a chance here to go to Wikipedia and check it out. It has US caller ID reporting, which means that it will transfer over the caller ID signals from the cell to an analog PBX. It has line reversal for disconnect and billing, which means you can set this up so that it'll reduce the cost of your calls by calling back over the cheapest line that's available. And it has voice features that include the half rate, full rate, enhanced full rate, and adaptive multi-rate signaling. All that means is that you have a nice range of options that you can turn on and off if you really want to configure this for your setup. Beyond that, it can be programmed via the serial port if you really want to get crazy with configuration, and it comes with a 2-year warranty. Now, we've got a little video here that's going to show you how easy it is to set one of these things up and how we were able to use it with our system.
The back of the CallFinder is where everything happens. There is an antenna port, a power plug, a serial port for manual configuration of advanced options or troubleshooting, a FXS and an FXO port. Most people will use the FXS port, but those who have more advanced telephone systems, say one that is handing off calls between VoIP, POTS, and cellular, the flexibility of having the 2 ports is a welcome addition. Since the unit uses a standard antenna connector, it is possible to install the CallFinder far away from the antenna. This allows for neater installations and for better signal strength. The unit also has a screw-on barrel power connector. This allows the power plug to be locked into place so that it can't be accidentally disconnected. Deploying the CallFinder is extremely simple. There is a small cover on the front that protects the SIM port, 2 small screws, and you have access to the slot. You then only need to obtain an active GSM SIM, insert it into the CallFinder's SIM slot. Because it uses a GSM SIM, there is no setup or configuration that needs to take place in order to get the unit up and running. You can connect to the serial port to turn on more advanced options or to get a more accurate signal level, but that is completely optional. Once the unit is closed back up, you simply power on the unit and wait for it to acquire signal. Once you see lights under the signal section of the LED, you know that you're ready to call. The CallFinder provides a dial tone so that your analog device can properly dial out. This is especially important for alarm devices that periodically check to see if they are still connected to a live phone line. In our tests, we were able to use several different analog devices with no reconfiguration, no drop-off, and no indication that we were going through a gateway.
So a few final thoughts about the CallFinder from MultiTech. This delivers on its promises. If you're looking for something that can give you POTS capability out in the boonies or in a temporary location, this does exactly as advertised. We were literally able to have this thing up and running in about 5 minutes, and that included the time to get it out of the box, to get it all connected, to put in the SIM card and power it up. It's idiot-proof. But beyond that, you can use the serial port to program this thing to do the advanced features and enable the options that you need for your particular deployment. If you need something for an alarm system or a POTS line, or if you just want a way to interface your cellular system with your analog system, I would recommend that you take a look at the MultiTech GSM. Now, there is one downside to this, and that is cost. This is about $500, which is not cheap. But again, if you are looking for something like this, something specialized, then that's not all that expensive, especially when you consider that this thing has been ruggedized and readied for years and years of trouble-free service. Now, that's all the time we have for this episode of Gadget. If you want to find out more about the CallFinder or the ATP Petito, you can go to our website at www.thetechstop.net. Click on the Gadget tab and you'll be able to find reviews and links for where you could buy this product. If you want to send us an email, you can always write it at gadget@thetechstop.net. Thank you for your email messages. Keep them coming, and we do appreciate your support. I've been your host, Father Robert Ballecer of the Society of Jesus. This has been the Center for Apostolic Technology on the campus of the University of Hawaii at the Newman Center. And I'm supposed to tell you that there's no Uber Geek without you. Take care.